Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort is more than just a "we'll choose this spot over other Disney World hotels" to decide which hotels are the best and the worst and which ones are perfect for you. Today we're talking about the Caribbean Beach Resort, a moderate hotel with one huge benefit. Let's see what you and the cast have to say. Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort is a moderate resort themed after 4 of the Caribbean islands, including Barbados, Jamaica, Martinique, Trinidad, and Aruba. It opened in 1988 as Disney World's first moderate resort, which is what Disney calls hotels with middle-of-the-road pricing, not too high, but not too low either. Most notably is that Caribbean Beach is the site of the Skyliner Hub, with quick transportation to Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Disney's Riviera Resort, Pop Century, and Art of Animation.
The Caribbean Beach Resort is one that I think gets a lot of flack, and I think unnecessarily. It is a very big resort. That is something to keep in mind. There's a lot of internal bus loops. Getting to the Skyliner is going to be easy depending more on where you stay on the Caribbean property. However, I do think it has one of the most fun beach bars there. There's the pool bar, which is Banana Cabana. I think it's really fun and also has really great drinks and food. And also, you are on the Skyliner. You're getting the moderate resort pricing, some fun rooms, fun themes, and access to the Skyliner. So there are some definite upsides to the Caribbean Beach.
Skyliner. The Disney Skyliner is such a huge benefit for those resorts that are close to it or on the Skyliner loop. And Caribbean Beach has its own Skyliner hub. So that is huge benefit, because at that Skyliner hub, you have very quick access to Epcot, to Hollywood Studios, and you can go the other way for Pop Century, Art of Animation. I mean, you're right next to the Riviera, so you could just walk to the Riviera.
Why would you choose to book at Caribbean Beach? Well, there's not as many reasons as sometimes we would love to say. Right now, Caribbean Beach is kind of undergoing a bit of a renovation, so those iconic pirate rooms, they're going away, unfortunately. And that's one thing that I really loved about Caribbean Beach. But the thing is, they were getting old, they definitely needed some TLC, and they weren't necessarily worth the price that you were having to pay anymore. So I think that the reason people would choose to book is transportation. Like, that is the main reason. There are several dining options. There is a very tropical beachy vibe if that's something you're looking for, but nothing, absolutely nothing can beat the fact that you're so close to the Skyliner, which is one of my favorite modes of transportation in all of Disney World. To be able to get to 2 of the parks really easily and other resorts, it's just a no-brainer for me. If I can be close to the Skyliner, I'm gonna choose to be close to the Skyliner. And if Caribbean Beach is one of the places I can do it, that's where I'm gonna head.
Caribbean Beach is made up of 2-story buildings grouped into 6 villages, and each building has 64 rooms along with its own pool and beach area. This is one of those hotels that's very spread out, and it may take you a long time to walk from your room to the hotel's 5th resort. So guests with mobility issues might want to request first-floor rooms. And in addition to everything else, bus transportation can take a long time too, but you also have the Skyliner option to take you to Hollywood Studios and Epcot.
Have such a small room considering how large the resort is. Actually, like a secret, it's not like a hidden menu sort of situation. A lot of people just don't realize that that sleeper sofa is there as an option for a 5th guest.
West, in order to be close to certain amenities. The number one would probably be closest. You'd want to stay, most people want to stay closest to the Skyliner, and that's going to be the Jamaica building in the standard view rooms. Those will be closest to the Skyliner station. But there's another Skyliner station. It's not a hub, but those are gonna be the rooms in the Aruba building. The standard view rooms in Aruba are gonna be closest to the Riviera. Either way, you have more transportation options. So you are going to be able to get places relatively quickly using the Skyliner if you stay in either of these buildings. Aruba, if you're staying close to the Riviera, you have access to all of their dining. You have access to their property. You can walk the grounds and and hang out there, and you know, their incredible quick service restaurant, Primo Piatto. I mean, I'm addicted to the grilled vegetable wrap there.
So I'm actually really excited for the Little Mermaid rooms for Caribbean Beach. I think that what Disney has done is they've done it a little more subtly, and that is very much the case here. It's a lot of beautiful pastels. There are some touches of the Little Mermaid, but it's not going to be quite as in your face as it would be over at kind of Art of Animation. So more adult friendly and not feeling quite as much like you're staying in a kid's room.
Amenities include a big colonial Spanish pirate-themed pool, complete with 2 water slides and a shipwreck play area. There's also fishing, volleyball, playgrounds, and campfire activities to enjoy.
Now, we cannot talk about the Caribbean Beach Resort without talking about the pool. There's the Fuentes del Moro pool, and that is the very fun, uniquely themed pool. It's a Spanish fortress, very pirates type deal. This is very much a place that kids are gonna wanna spend some time, because you can't walk by it without thinking that's really, really fun. There are some leisure pools that you can find throughout the resort as well, so if you're just looking to cool off and you don't want to go where all the kids are necessarily, the leisure pools are located around the resort as well.
There's a lot to do at Caribbean Beach Resort. There's a lot of fun amenities. I will point out that there is a beach and it's super fun. There are hammocks, there's beach volleyball, all those fun resort activities that you can do. Also, the Riviera is right next door. Riviera also has a beach sandy area. It's very calming. The music puts you in a good mood.
I'm not that big of an outdoors person, so something like fishing or heading to the trails doesn't really appeal to me. I do like that they have the movies under the stars. I've seen this at a few other Disney resorts, but essentially what they do is you can go outside and enjoy a classic Disney movie, enjoy a Disney film, something nice to do on your vacation. Put them on and you can head on over, bring some snacks, something like that. Something for the whole family to enjoy.
Right next door to the Riviera Resort.
I stop at the grab-and-go shop at Centertown Market because they sell pineapple Fanta, which is kind of a rare. It's not like totally rare, but it's a pretty rare song. Wait a minute, this is a theme today. I didn't expect this at all. This is coming out of nowhere.
Well, the thing about Caribbean Beach Resort food options is they're not that notable, unfortunately. And as someone who's a foodie and can always find something to enjoy, that's just not the best, and it kind of stinks. There's lots of options though, from the Banana Cabana Pool Bar, the Spyglass Grill, Sebastian's Bistro. There's a lot of things. Centertown Market, there's lots of options. However, unfortunately, none of them are super notable. I've heard a lot of really great things from you guys about Sebastian's Bistro for the price and for table service. I've heard some good things about it. It's not necessarily everyone's favorite, but I think people have been pleased by the price that you pay there, which I think is very notable. But unfortunately for food, as far as the entire resort goes, not much to say.
So what do all ears readers think? Reviewer Brian R. Hester said, CBR is a great themed resort and best moderate resort by far if transportation to the park is important to you. And Rachel Reviews said, our family loves CBR. We don't mind that things are spread out because it feels a lot more peaceful.
If you are thinking about staying at Caribbean Beach Resort, I will say that there are no elevators. So if you do need to be on the first floor for whatever reason, if you're not able to go up the stairs, then you need to tell Disney that, either on the phone when you make your reservation, all of that kind of stuff. Just let them be aware that you do need.
Caribbean Beach is kind of like a middle ground resort to me, and I say that in the best way. This place is good for families, it's good for older people, it's way up at the deluxe level, but you're still going to get some more features than you would get at a value resort.
Anonymous reader said, never again. The Skyliner isn't even enough incentive for me to stay there again when I can stay at Art of Animation, Pop Century for less and still get the Skyliner.
Most helpful though for the rooms that are close to the Skyliner. Caribbean Beach is a huge resort. It's really quite massive. There's an internal bus loop. getting over to this, you'll be seeing a 10 to 15 minute walking distance from the Skyliner. And while you're still on the property, yes, having the Skyliner is great, but it's very much going to depend on where you stay at the hotel, whether it's a major benefit to you or not.
There's a lot of things about this resort that just aren't the best. They're not the greatest, and that's okay, because there are a lot of reasons that people would stay there too. But unfortunately, the things about the resort, you're not gonna wanna have to come home and walk several miles or several thousand feet, however far you have to walk in particular, to try to find your room, especially if you get lost. That resort, to me, as somebody who goes as a guest and somebody who just hangs out during the day, can sometimes get confusing if you don't know where the buildings are, because a lot of them, they're really beautiful pastel buildings, but sometimes they kind of blend together. So you might not know exactly where you're headed. It makes for a long night, and it's just a big resort that's really spread out. It's not always the best. Outside of the Skyliner also, the food, it's currently being refurbished, but as they stand right now, not the best rooms either. So Disney's working on it. So everybody hold their horses.
It's giant with spread out buildings, and there are not many greats.
Overall, Caribbean Beach Resort is not a terrible resort. Obviously, the Skyliner is great. That's such a big plus. It is more spread out, which can be a pro or a con, depending on how you look at it. There aren't super great dining options at Caribbean Beach Resort itself, but again, you can walk right next door to the Riviera, which has amazing dining options. You can hop on the Skyliner, go to the back of Epcot at the International Gateway, and then you've got all the dining options at the Boardwalk and Yacht and Beach Club, which is amazing, and Swan and Dolphin, because it's right there too. So you do have access to more dining options than you really think.
You also have a ton of great transportation options, so if getting to the parks quickly and easily is important to you, that's something else to consider. Now, if you're the kind of person who can't handle a lot of walking, or if you have mobility issues, this is not going to be the best resort for that, to your room. If you're already tired and spent from hoofing it in Magic Kingdom all day, it might be a bit too much for you to handle having to do that extra walk just to get over to your room.
Skyliner Hub, this is the #1 reason I would stay there. And you're super close to dining over at the Riviera, which I think is a big...
Overall, I actually think that Caribbean Beach gets a bit of a bad rap. I have really enjoyed my time when I've stayed there. I will say that when I have stayed there, it's been closer to the Skyliner, and so for me, it's really easy to just kind of hop on the Skyliner, get to where you need to go. If you're staying further away, that is gonna make it difficult, but I do staying there. So I think there's a lot of upside to this moderate resort. Does it have its flaws? Absolutely, but I know that's kind of a spicy comment, but it's true.
Other than this being the resort that lets you live inside a Beach Boys song, I had to do a hat change because I was talking about Beach Boys so much. It also has a lot to offer in terms of amenities and immersion. So yes, it's a huge resort, but if you plan ahead and strategize based on your preferences and needs, you will find that you can build your own little corner of community and, you know, experience based on the area of the resort that you're staying in. And I think that's a really cool aspect of it. And, you know, getting to go into Caribbean Key in the middle there and sit in one of those cool little kind of relax. And I love that. You know what it makes me feel like? It makes me feel like I'm living inside a Beach Boys song. Way down to Caribbean Beach. Oh, great. Great episode, everybody.
It'd be the best of both worlds, especially with the Skyliner option. But if you want a closer knit hotel with more accessibility, this isn't it. Of course, keep in mind that what's good for one person might not be good for you. Vote. Let us know in the comments if you've been there. Tell us about your experience. This is Chris for allears.net. See you next time.